Hello, mask collectors, horror movie watchers, Halloween costume fans, and other interesting humans. It's time once again to look at another great Halloween mask on Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Corporal Zantoro from the Interpol SWAT team, and our sponsor today is Papa Patterson's Perfectly Perforated Paper Pizza. For when you like the general look of pizza but don't want all those empty carbs and calories, get Papa Patterson's Perfectly Perforated Paper Pizza. Thank you. Today's mask, on the other hand, is a creepy one, a gory one, a nasty one that came out in 2020 from the weirdos at Trick or Treat Studios. This one was sculpted by Mr. Chris Gallagher, very talented sculptor, and don't get ahead of me here. It's the pig from Motel Hell. What? Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Motel Hell pig. Okay? A Motel Hell, if you don't know, was a slasher movie that came out in the early 80s. And this is not supposed to be a pig monster. It's just a crazy idiot murderer who wears a pig's head and goes nuts with a chainsaw. So you would want to wear this with a farmer type outfit, like bib overalls and a plaid work shirt kind of outfit, work boots, outdoorsy looking, like a classic farmer, because he was it Farmer Vincent? Yeah, it takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters, as they said in the movie. But it was a silly film. It was gory and suspenseful here and there, but extremely campy and silly too. But if you like slasher masks, and who doesn't, you might want to have the Motel Hell pig, as sculpted by Chris Gallagher and released in 2020 by Trick or Treat Studios. And let's zoom up on this nasty thing here. I haven't done anything to this one. This is right out of the box from Trick or Treat, and it is latex. You can probably tell. Okay, it's got the strip of hair here, which looks kind of strange because he looks like some kind of Mohawk punk pig. But the pig head used in the movie did in fact have a strip of hair down the center like that. Look at these creepy eyes. The eyes are really creepy, I think, very disturbing. Look like dead animal tissue, which is pretty creepy. And by the way, if you're a vegetarian and want to make any sort of an anti-meat statement, this is the mask for you. And look at his big, nasty muzzle and his big, wet mouth. And I don't know if you can tell, he is trimmed. Let me take the styrofoam head out. He is trimmed right here. Hey, look at that. It's Mr. Pig and his dancing teeth. Okay, that's where the cut is. So if you're going to be wearing this, you're actually seeing out of the mouth, and you're thinking, wow, that doesn't make any sense. How can I see out of the mouth? It's going to be too low. It's going to be clear down there, below my chin. But no, they have thoughtfully placed 3 bricks of foam rubber, 3 foam chunks inside there to help keep it in shape. There's a big one on top, and then there's a chunk of foam on either side that keep it from collapsing or sagging or drooping. And it's fairly stiff latex, so it actually holds its shape pretty well. I haven't chased anyone across an open field while waving a chainsaw about whilst wearing it, so I don't actually know from personal experience how hard it is to see out of that mouth, or how much chainsawing of teenagers you can do with it on. It might be difficult, so be warned, But it's a pretty great mask. It's a full head, and as you can see, there's plenty of room here. I have some paper stuffed in the top because, look, I have it on a decraniated styrofoam head, so since the head's decraniated, I had to put some stuffing in there, but your mileage may vary. Anyway, it's pretty thick casting. It's pretty nice quality. The blood is very realistic looking, and if you think, didn't Dr. Lady cover a Motel Hell pig mask before, back in the before time? You might be thinking of, well, you might have watched this same video more than once. I don't know. How would I know how many times you've watched this? Have you seen this before? You expect too much of me sometimes. I don't know. But you may also be thinking of a Mask Fan Attic episode from way back when, which concerned the Don Post Studios version of the Motel Hell Pig Mask. And just to make it convenient for you, the viewer, I have one here for comparison. Now this came out in 2012. It was one of the very last movie masks from the legendary and famous Don Post Studios, the company that made all the classic Universal monster masks and the Star Wars masks for many, many years. This was one of their last gasps before they went out of business in 2012. And how do we know? It says right on here, Motel Hell, copyright 1980 and 2012, Don Post Studios, etc. So here is your Don Post version. Now, to the naked eye, it might appear this is exactly the same mask. You know, to the naked eye, you would think this is two copies of the exact same thing because they're very close. However, to the eye wearing a clown suit or a tuxedo or a prom dress, it's clear that it is not quite the same sculpture. It's very similar, but obviously it needs to be because there was only one pig head you saw in the film, and this is pretty much what it looked like. So anybody's interpretation of it is going to be pretty close. How can you tell the two apart? Well, the eyes are painted differently, but of course that's just a matter of finishing, not really the sculpture. And likewise, the hair was lighter on the Don Post version, a little darker on the 2020 one from Trick or Treat, and the blood is much more realistic looking on the 2020 Trick or Treat than it was on the 2012 Don Post, where it looked a little more paint-like on the original. But to really discern the difference, you're going to have to look at the fine details, things like wrinkle patterns, because the wrinkle patterns are really the only significant differences, okay? And if you're in one of those situations where somebody's selling one of these and you're not sure which version it is, but you kind of like to have one for the prop collection or just to use at the haunted house or the haunted hayride, or again, whatever it is you're haunting, and you want to know which one it is, okay, a couple more things that will help you determine that. The Don Post one was thinner cast. The rubber was not as stiff, it was softer and thinner, but it did have more foam inside. As opposed to just the 3 chunks, it has some bigger pieces around in there. And the Trick or Treat one, here's another way that you can cheat. We'll show you if we can get it on camera. If you look really closely behind his left ear, there's a tiny little, okay, it says Made in Mexico. That's what it says. I was thinking it said the name of the movie studio, but I stand corrected, or I sit corrected. It actually says Made in Mexico. And if you've got the Don Post one, you will not see that little strip that says Made in Mexico on the back of the ear. Now you see where that is? Right on the back. And there are other minor differences, but again, they're mostly minor textural things and very small sculptural subtleties. If you look at the back of both pigs, a little bit of difference there. The Trick or Treat one from 2020, which is this one, is a little smoother in the back, and the Don Post one from 2012 was a little more contoured. Which one do I like better? I don't know. It's a tough call because I like the Don Post one a lot. I believe it was sculpted by Bruce Baldwin Fuller, and I don't know why they didn't just use his same existing sculpture for Trick or Treat instead of having it redone by Chris Gallagher. I don't know why that wasn't an option, but the Trick or Treat one is so beautifully sculpted, it's really a tough choice. And I'm going to assume probably nobody really needs 2 giant bloody pig heads. The Trick or Treat one might be the superior one at the end of the day, just because the blood looks so real and the latex is more firm and is a little thicker than the Post. But other than that, that's a tough call, as I say. And I guess the eyes are a little more disturbing again, that's just paint along with the hair and the blood. That's a finishing thing. But I like the disturbing, creepy, ugly way they're painting the eyes on the trick-or-treat one. But anyway, if you could find a Don Post one from 2012, it would probably cost you an enormous amount of money at this point in the history of the world. But the trick-or-treat one was only about 70 bucks, maybe 80, 70, 80 bucks, that neighborhood. Last time I was down on the farm and checked. So for pork's sake, get yourself a Trick-or-Treat Studios Motel Hell Pig to add to the slasher collection, or just to chase people around at the haunted house next Halloween. And well, until next time, remember, you can lead a pig to water, but you can't tune a fish. No, wait, that's how does that go? You can lead it. No, that's not right. You can. Let's start over.